So, welcome back to the channel, guys. We are back in Dragon Age Inquisition.
They have certainly
we are
spared
gonna
no
go.
expense.
We're gonna go give Solas the evils there because I mean we made out in the dream world. He's got some explanation to do. I mean, unless it was completely a frisky dream on our part. I mean, which is possible. Our girl, you know, she's it's been a while for her. Right, oh wow, they cleaned up real quick, didn't they? That's our quarters. I'm not sitting anywhere yet, that's the Undercroft. That is them. Where is this? That goes upstairs. I don't know why I want to go upstairs yet. Solas! Solas!
Someone emptied a whole bag of turnips into the fire.
Oh wow,
Oh,
you
man,
painted
the smell
really
is
quick.
everywhere. I was going to use them for dinner and then... I can't recall who took them.
So also, those little bits and pieces that we run around in here, like the use them for dinner, if you pick up enough clues, you can speak with Cole and he'll admit to being the one who's doing it.
Sleep well?
I've never done anything like that before. On a number of levels.
I apologize. The kiss was impulsive and ill-considered, and I should not have encouraged it.
I'm sorry.
Solas, I thought you were interested. If I misread you, I apologize.
No, you have no need to apologize. It has been a long time, and things have always been easier for me in the Fade. I am not certain this is the best idea. It could lead to trouble.
I'm good for that. I'll risk
willing
it,
to take
yeah.
that chance, if you are.
Maybe, yes. If I could take a little time to think. There are considerations.
Take all the time you need.
Thank you. I am not often thrown by things that happen in dreams, but I am reasonably certain we are awake now. And if you wish to discuss anything, I would enjoy talking.
I'd like to hear more about what you saw in your exploration of the Fade.
I would be happy to share it with you.
Tell me about the old ruins you explored.
I found the ruin of Barandur, a lost Tevinter city buried deep beneath a dead and barren wasteland. Volcanic ash had sealed it tight. In one dark moment, every living creature in the city seared and
Sounds
smothered.
like,
They were statues in the ashes, like a mold made to
in
recall
Italy.
the lost.
Tell me about a spirit you encountered.
I met a friendly spirit who
Vesuvius,
observed the
that's it.
dreams of village girls as love first blossomed in their adolescence. With subtlety, she steered them all to village boys with gentle hearts, who would return their love with gentle kindness. The matchmaker, so I called her. That small village never knew its luck.
That sounds awesome, that little spirit.
Tell me about the old memories you found in the Fade.
I saw a savage human horde go marching toward the battlefront. They sang the soldiers' hymn to keep formation. Primal music shook the ground. These savage, unwashed warriors carried harmonies no chantry choirs mastered. Though their cause was all but hopeless, they sang songs that made the spirits weep.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Right, Solas, come back. We're talking more. Oh, we got another cutscene? Like, ugh, no.
Something wrong with your tea?
It is tea. I detest this stuff. But this morning, I need to shake the dreams from my mind. I may also need a favor.
You just have to
Name it.
ask.
One of my oldest friends has been captured by mages, forced into slavery. I heard the cry for help as I slept.
I'd be happy to help. What did these mages use to capture your friend? Blood magic?
A summoning circle, I would imagine.
I'm sorry?
My friend is a spirit of wisdom. Unlike the spirits clamoring to enter our world through the rifts, it was dwelling quite happily in the Fade. It was summoned against its will.
Of course, most of the
Once I
spirits
helped to gain
do
its freedom and
stay
return
there.
to the Fade.
All right, let's go get your friend.
Thank you. I got a sense of my friend's location before I awoke. I'll mark it on our map.
Awesome. Now, can we keep on
What can I do for
talking?
you?
What more do we have to speak with?
I'd like to hear more about what you saw in your exploration of the Fade.
I would
Is
be
there like a
happy to share
numerous
it.
thing that we can do here?
Tell me about the old memories you found in the Fade.
I saw a dwarf emerge into the light of day and shield his eyes against the sun. The first time he had seen it, the tears were streaming from his eyes. I thought them from the blazing light, until I saw the rock he held so tightly. Then he laid the rock down gently, and he left it as he walked away.
That's really sad! Damn it, Solus!
Tell me about the old ruins you explored.
I found an ancient dwarven thaig no longer sheltered by the stone. An earthquake had exposed it all to daylight. 1,000 dwarven corpses lay, the victims of a dark-spawn horde. Their last stand marked by one great ring of armor. In the middle, one small body, clutching tightly to a
Oh,
small staff.
god damn it, Solus! You find the saddest things!
Tell me about a spirit you encountered.
The Alamari crossed the Frostback Mountains to escape a beast they called the Shadow Goddess in their story. I met the spirit that they fled. She walks the Fade along the southern tundra, weeping lonely and forgotten. Great Ferelden formed because a lonely spirit drove her prey away.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye. Hello.
Oh, I want to hear one more. Come on.
I'd like to hear more about what you...
I would be happy to share it with you.
Tell me
Okay,
about the
let's
old
listen.
ruins you explored.
I found in the Kokari wilds a humble cottage far removed from any of the simple, chastened tribesmen. The trees and weeds had not reclaimed the home, nor did the chastened dare to come and steal the trinkets still remaining. It was empty, long abandoned. But the wolf feared
Flemeth.
that you might return.
Flemeth's little hut. Oh.
Tell me about a spirit you encountered.
Because she
I
was
found an ancient
associated with
spirit who
with
had once
the
been
chastened.
undisputed king of almost every land I had discovered. Like pride or rage, it was the Fade's reflection of a feeling. When I asked which one it was, the spirit faltered. "They've forgotten," said the spirit. "There remains no word for what I was."
Tell me about the old memories you found in the Fade.
I saw a young Canary working in a simple kitchen, baking bread as she was ordered every morning. In every loaf, she broke the rules. She'd take a pinch of sugar and fold it into the center, like a secret. And this act of small rebellion brought a shining smile across her face.
We'll talk...
I'm sorry, I'm fascinated by these
I'd
stories.
like to hear more.
I think I have shared everything of note. I should spend some time encountering more stories.
I need to know more
Okay.
about Corypheus.
We spoke of this on our travels to Skyhawk. What more can I tell you? Cassandra and Varric seem more familiar with their adversary.
You've given me good counsel before. I could use some now.
My apologies, Inquisitor. My poor manners shame me. I claim no secret wisdom, but I will guess as best I can.
I would like to know more about the orb he carries.
As I said, that must be the means by which he created the breach. I suspect the blast that destroyed the Conclave was more accident than anything. The result of unlocking power that had sought release for ages. What I cannot understand is how he managed to survive such an explosion.
You said that you believed the orb is elven.
I never would have believed a Tevinter mage could unlock such a powerful relic. It clearly enhances his abilities, giving him access to power he should never have known.
Like the power to control the archdemon.
Indirectly, one
We assume
assumes
it's an archdemon.
nothing in any law connects my people to the old god dragons who became archdemons.
What do you think Corypheus will do next?
You shamed him when you destroyed Haven. Spoiled his glorious victory. It would be worse to acknowledge that you had done so. He must continue on his course or show weakness. He will return to his plans to throw Olay into chaos, and then conquer it for Tevinter.
You're sure that's what he'll do?
As certain as is possible, assuming I can plausibly predict a man who seeks to rise to godhood.
And can you?
The key is understanding this. No real god need prove himself. Anyone who tries is mad or lying. His deception will undo him, as it has done countless fools before.
What can you tell me about the source of Corypheus's power?
According to the law, the ancient magistars of Tevinter received guidance from the old gods. Corypheus commands a false archdemon, a corrupted old god. This suggests he no longer sees himself as their minion. Some of his unique power comes from the corruption of the blight. The rest may come from the orb he carries.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Okay, so we've got all that. We've been there. Let's go upstairs, because showing us another head. Oh. Dorian.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Hmm?
One
What's
moment
brilliant?
you're trying to restore order in a world gone mad. That should be enough for anyone to handle, yes? Then, out of nowhere, an archdemon appears and kicks you in the head. What? You thought this would be easy? No, I was just hoping you wouldn't crush our village like an anthill. Sorry about
I'm
that.
peeved.
Archdemons like to crush, you know. Can't be helped.
He's joking, but
I
he's got an
suppose a
undertone of
proper
being
introduction is
peeved.
called for, now that we're not running for our lives. Dorian of House Parvis, most recently of the Tevinter Imperium. I was at Redcliffe when the Venatori assumed command of your southern mages. I only wish I could have given more warning.
What you did for us at Haven was very brave.
Now, Dorian, a bit of a spoiler
was,
here, he
wasn't it?
is gay.
Throwing in my
So
lot with
he
the
is
underdogs,
not interested
that's
in
me.
us ladies.
I always assumed the elder one behind the Venatori was a magister. But this is something else completely. In Tevinter, they say the Chantry's tales of magisters starting the Blight are just that. Tales. But here we are. One of those very magisters. A dark
A
spawn.
walking, talking one, like the architect.
Who does the Imperium say started the Blight?
You know how it is. Not us. They say Darkspawn were always there. Magisters and the Blight aren't even related. Is that a surprise?
I'm sorry, Corypheus kind of
No one wants to admit
kind of
they
proves
shit
that
the
opposite
bed.
there.
But if Corypheus is one of the Magisters who entered the Black City and he's Darkspawn, what other explanation is there?
Why does that make you angry?
Because the Imperium is my home. I knew what I was taught couldn't be the whole truth, but I assumed there had to be a kernel of it, somewhere. But no, it was us all along. We destroyed the world.
You didn't do anything. Those men did. 1,000 years ago.
True, except that one of them is up and walking around right now.
That's
Not to
okay, we'll
mention
bury
I
him
have
again.
Idiot countrymen who would happily follow him down that path again. I have no intention of letting Corypheus win. Not without someone from Tevinter standing against him. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to stay and help the Inquisition.
Of course.
We can use all the help we can get.
No one will thank me,
I don't
whatever
even
happens.
want to question him.
No one will thank you either. You know that, yes?
That attitude must be why they kicked you out of the Imperium.
They didn't kick me out? Well, only because they never got around to it. Eventually, they might have. All I know is this. Corypheus needs to be stopped. Men like him ruined my homeland. I won't stand by and let him ruin the world. Oh, and
You're all shiny, dude.
congratulations on that whole leading the Inquisition thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Roderick, that Chantry fellow who led us through the mountain from Haven. You know he died, I assume. Got us as far as the camp, and then... that was it.
Oh. That's too bad.
I helped him walk. He... talked about you quite a bit. He just needed to be sure you were Andraste's chosen. He was terrified of what it meant, if it were true. But in the end, he believed. He asked me to tell you he was sorry.
Oh.
It seems
Yeah,
he was
he-
a good man after all.
Sometimes you discover
Yeah.
things where you least expect. Anyway, we can talk about something else if you'd rather.
I mean, he was scared like everybody else, but...
I'm curious why you were in Redcliffe in the first place.
Looking up an old mentor of mine. A magister by the name of Alexius. Good fellow.
We met him.
Always thought highly of him. Then one day, he asks me to join the Venatori. I don't know what he was thinking. He knew I wanted to change Tevinter, not regress it into prehistoric madness. The Venatori killed Alexius once he stopped being useful.
So that's what we missed out on.
Seems odd he would get involved with the Venatori at all.
That's what I thought. I'd hoped to persuade him to leave Redcliffe. I suppose he had his reasons. People will do odd things when they're strung over a barrel. Either that, or I didn't really know Alexius at all.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
I'm well aware of your finer qualities. Believe me.
Of course you are. You're a discerning and intelligent woman, aren't you?
He's very self-confident.
What was I talking about? Ah, yes, me. I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
What did you mean by generations of careful breeding?
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see?
I'm getting the impression that you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
It just seems... So much of what you say about the Imperium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our
I don't
past
remember
and
that.
preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care. Deeply. About everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love. If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope, I wouldn't miss it so much.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters, I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
I think I've heard enough.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about myself.
I'd like to ask you...
Ah, yes, everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular
Was
you
it
wanted
launched
to
from
know?
a catapult?
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion, too. Of course, what people call blood magic here and what we consider blood magic are two different things.
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood
Like
magic
slavery.
can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. And most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a magister who makes noise. And then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
Yes, I can see.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah. That is true.
And did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
You think slaves like it that way? Don't be ridiculous.
I didn't say they like it. It's all most of them know. In the south, you have
Remember, Fenris
alienages,
came from there.
slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
Is that what you call it? Treated poorly?
Abuse heaped upon those without power isn't limited to Tevinter, my friend. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
Strange? Why are you less qualified to rule than some tart with a fancy crown? Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
Oh, of course. Very just coincidental.
What is the Magisterium, exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a Magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods.
Like
If you're a
Fenrir.
mage and you're not Altus, then you're later. Lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from
Makes
the right
sense.
family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Let me ask...
Of course.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine.
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do
Him?
have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well.
See, now,
but
why
they don't
can't ours be
cancel
like that?
spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers.
They don't use lyrium.
Ha! As if there'd be any left for them. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce their magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Smile and
Do you
wave.
really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
God, that's like friggin' Protestants and Catholics.
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south,
Makes
they
sense.
say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah.
I
blah.
prefer the thought that she
We
is a
feel
mage.
better
That
believing
makes
Andraste
sense.
was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
So, the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the Sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Yeah, great reasoning.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry.
That's fair,
It
because
is
the
a
Chantry
relic,
is
whether back
separate.
home
It's
or
a
here in the
place.
south.
Uh,
Something from a bygone
cult,
age
if you will.
desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that
Doesn't
makes me
mean you can't
popular.
believe in something.
I share your opinion, actually.
That's not surprising, considering what the Inquisition represents. I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
Ah, you flatterer,
That the
you.
Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
You don't seem like the religious sort, to be honest.
If you define religious as sitting in a chantry and listening to a blithering hen tell you how to live, then no. If you define it as believing in the possibility that something larger than yourself exists, then yes, by all means. The world is bigger than I, even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe, but I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Let me...
So many questions.
I'm wondering if the Imperium
Yep,
would
I'm
be
really
a
running
useful
through 'em.
ally.
I'd think you'd be more concerned whether or not
This
they'd
is just a
support the
companion
Venatori.
catch-up right now.
They won't, of course. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago. We've been fighting the Qunari for what? 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind their silk handkerchiefs and say, "You've had it easy for far too long." Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
That's all I want.
There you go, we've run through all of his stuff.
I should go.
You know, right?
Here is the request Harriet
I
made.
haven't seen
I
that.
will see he gets it.
Who are you?
Greetings to you, Inquisitor. I am to serve as assistant to any research concerns.
Oh, so
You'll
if
find my skills
Minave
unexceptional.
died, she
I
would
hope that they prove useful.
she would take over.
You're taking over...
Yes. She said she was needed elsewhere.
What is she doing?
I wasn't told. Yes.
Who are you?
Oh, Inquisitor, greetings. I was recently appointed by Sister Leliana to keep her... I'm so
Okay.
pleased to be here, helping out in... Well, I should get...
Weirdo. Do. Round and round we go, where it stops, no one knows. I wonder what happened if I jump off here. Oh, look, get around. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
So am I.
The names of those we lost. You must blame me for this.
We all saw who attacked us. We know exactly who to blame.
I keep wondering if I could have done something different. When the first of my lookouts went missing, I pulled the rest back, awaiting more information. If they'd stayed in the field, they could have bought us more time.
But
I
they
was
could also
afraid
be
to
dead.
lose my agents. And instead, we lost Haven.
More likely, they would have stayed out there, died, and we would have lost Haven anyway.
You don't know that. Their lives could have bought Haven a small chance. My people
No.
know their duty. They know the risks. They understand
We
that
don't
the
think that way.
Inquisition may call upon them to give their lives.
Our people aren't tools to be used and discarded. Your instincts were right. Their lives matter.
Can we afford such sentimentality? What if Corypheus...
We're better than Corypheus.
Don't ever think that we should fall to his level.
Our agents have encountered more followers of Corypheus, the so-called Venatori. Their leader, Calpurnia, has them searching elven ruins. For what, I do not know. I propose we stop the Venatori before they find what they seek.
Good idea.
I'm pleased to see my spy master is on top of the matter.
I try. These Venatori have been shadowing a merchant called Vicinius on Calpurnia's orders. They've investigated his finances, surveyed his warehouses. I propose that you meet with Vicinius. Flatter him. Find out what he knows of Calpurnia.
What if Vicinius is as much in the dark as we are?
It never hurts to eliminate an avenue of inquiry. And we should tread lightly with the Venatori. They have contacts and spies, just as we do. The sooner you speak with Vicinius, the better.
We need him to open up about these bloodthirsty cultists. I'll bring wine.
Vicinius could be a useful ally. Merchants travel, and they love gossip as much as coin. I'll make arrangements for you to visit his summer home in Val Royeaux. Hopefully, your attention should be enough to pique his interest. We'll have Calpurnia's secrets yet.
Awesome sauce. There we go. Oh, bugger, get off. Tally-ho! Plop. Superman drop. What have we done here? Okay. So that was the hole in the sky. Right, the Inquisition was formed. I'm liking the wolves. I don't know what that is. It's like a lot of arms and stuff. Oh, that was the Seeker! That was the Lord Seeker. Because he had multiple arms, didn't he? There's a Templar sword. And then there's Corypheus. With the little ball. So this is just all going to be a tapestry of our travels.
Honored, Inquisitor. Gotzi Sturhald. Did my part on the walls. Now I'm on this strange collection you've brought us. Don't know it's worth to the fight exactly.
He
but
deals
it's good
with the
work.
mosaic pieces.
Where did you learn your skills?
Zamar. Carved a few statues in my day. And before you ask, yes, I chose to leave. I carved a paragon who turned out to be a sodding madwoman.
Oh, Branca!
Couldn't stand looking at it. The memory of a dwarf, right?
Any ideas about the origins of these reliefs?
Tevinter, early. It's in the tool marks, the grain. That's hard dust mined from the 100 Pillars, if I know anything. Oh, I suppose the scene is probably full of Tevinter robes, too.
The 100 Pillars?
Damnedest things. Massive spires that aren't stone. It's like a mortar. Don't know more than that. Strong, though.
Do you have insight into the stories these tiles are supposed to depict?
Tell you what. You finish one, and I'll write it up. Who better, right?
Sounds good.
A good dwarven perspective.
Another time.
Best of the...
There you go, we've got a use for those mosaics now. Aha!
Fertile ground even here. This hold has everything.
Inquisitor, Elan Vemar. Honored to represent the College of Herbalists. My colleague Adan was clear about the worth of your cause. I look forward to assisting him.
How is Adam?
I look forward to working with you.
And are you?
We saved him from the
I
pots,
wasn't
remember?
sure what to think of you people, but recent events have put those doubts to bed. All the mundane needs of Skyhold will be well tended. If you note anything special, let me know. I'm here to serve the cause we must.
Cool. Mother Giselle. What are you showing me? Oh, there. I don't have any seeds yet. Oh, hey,
Thanks for my
Tren.
life in Haven. You've all sorts serving now. If that means change, so be it.
Just fully exploring Skyhold here before we get on with any missions. Okay, Varric's not up here. Good. Where is he though? Because I don't want to end up in the wrong place. Where am I going? I'm just going everywhere at the moment. Ready? That's it. No, bugger, I'm stuck on a table. Just in case we do bump into Varric up here. Well, at least we know where he's at. We're not going to go to him. Convenient place for a bed. Oh, it's in the tavern. Right.
Strangest thing, when I reached down, my dagger was gone. Just gone. Know where I found it? In a barrel. The thing was
This is
filled
another
to the
thing to do
brim
with
with
coal,
daggers.
so we're...
Got the strangest feeling. I know someone took it right off my belt, but I can't recall who.
Let's climb up here first. Oh, that's a nice bird. Ah, so this must be where Cullen sleeps. Cullen!
As leader of the Inquisition, there's something I must tell you.
You're being especially serious today.
I know. Lyrium grants Templars our abilities, but it controls us as well. Those cut off suffer. Some go mad, others die. We have secured a reliable source of lyrium for the Templars here. But I no longer take it.
You stopped?
When I joined the Inquisition, it's been months now.
Cullen, if this can kill you...
It hasn't yet. After what happened in Kirkwall, I couldn't. I will not be bound to the Order, or that life any longer. Whatever the suffering, I accept it. But I would not put the Inquisition at risk. I've asked Cassandra to... Watch me. If my ability to lead is compromised, I will be relieved from duty.
Are you in pain?
I can endure it.
Thank you for telling me. I respect what you're doing.
Thank you, Inquisitor.
It's your
The
choice.
Inquisition's army must always take priority. Should anything happen, I will defer to Cassandra's judgment.
Okay. I'm just being very careful in case we activate
Did you need
something.
That's all.
I'm sure.
Tra la 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 la. I mean the view though. You guys would not. You guys would pay anything to have this view.
Our mounts have never had better.
What have we got? That took a fair bit of coin there, but you know, we'll be done. Oh, got a buy and sell here. That's for a rogue. What rogue do we have that doesn't have any armor? Why are we not wearing a hat? Thank you. Put our junk back on. Sarah, what are you wearing? Okay, you're wearing one already. Okay. What are you wearing, Varric? I think it's one that we made. Nope. Okay. So that's useless. So, warrior. So we want. Let's put it on Blackwall. I want this on our girl. Oh, are you kidding me? Fine. Oh, bugger. What's that? Varric, what are you wearing? Yeah, we'll give you that one. So, let's just make sure what we got here. Okay. Oh, look, there's the... Who's she? Thought she was the other person then. What have you got for sale?
It was an archdemon, they say.
It wasn't. Deceased, maybe.
You didn't see it. It had coloured fire.
Right then. So we're going to leave this video here, guys. I know that we didn't really do much. We just caught up with all our companions, which is still important because we've also gained a couple of quests. So we can kind of grab those as we go on. If you look, oh wow. So if we go to our inner circle here, so we've got Memories of the Grey, Unfinished Business. Do we need to go back to anywhere? Hinterlands. That's the only place we've got to go there. Talk to Varric about Sword and Shields. That's what we'll do after that. Find that in the Exalted Plains. So that's for Varric. The books, we don't need to go back anywhere. and Val Royal. Okay, so that's just our companions there. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I particularly like the interaction between Solus and ourselves, but also there's a bit of romance with Cullen going on there. If you have enjoyed, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment in the comment section if you want to see more. And as always, we shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.